In the heart of the Horn of Africa, a bitter and complex war broke out between Ethiopia and Somalia in 1977, rooted in territorial disputes and nationalist ambitions. The conflict, known as the Ogaden War, was driven primarily by Somali irredentism, an aspiration to unite all Somali-inhabited regions, including Ethiopia's Ogaden region, into a greater Somalia. Following years of border skirmishes and rising tensions, Somalia, under President Siad Barre, launched a full-scale invasion of the Ogaden region in July 1977, backed by a well-equipped military and confident in Ethiopia's internal instability, then reeling from the Ethiopian Revolution and a violent change in leadership. Somalia initially made rapid gains. Somali forces, along with Western Somali Liberation Front, WSLF, insurgents, managed to occupy up to 90% of the Ogaden region within months. However, the tide soon turned. Ethiopia, led by the Marxist Derg regime under Mengistu Haile Mariam, rallied support both domestically and internationally. The Soviet Union, which had initially supported Somalia, dramatically switched allegiance to Ethiopia. In a decisive geopolitical pivot, the Soviets, along with Cuba, provided Ethiopia with extensive military aid, including modern weaponry, advisors, and thousands of Cuban combat troops. East Germany and other Eastern Bloc nations also extended their support. By early 1978, the Ethiopian army, reorganized and bolstered by international support, launched a massive counteroffensive. In a series of well-coordinated operations, Ethiopian and Cuban forces began to drive Somali troops out of the Ogaden. The decisive Battle of Jijiga in March 1978 marked a turning point, with Somali forces suffering heavy losses. Within weeks, Somalia's army was in retreat. By March 1978, Ethiopia had fully recaptured the Ogaden region, forcing Somalia to withdraw and ending the war in a decisive Ethiopian victory. The consequences of the war were profound. For Ethiopia, the victory helped solidify the Derg regime's control and preserved the country's territorial integrity. For Somalia, the defeat marked the beginning of a long decline. The war strained its economy and military, and Siad Barre's regime never fully recovered its former strength. The war also highlighted the Cold War dynamics in Africa, with shifting alliances and superpower involvement shaping regional conflicts. Conclusion: the Ethiopia-Somalia War was not only a clash over borders, but a pivotal moment in East African history. Ethiopia's victory in the Ogaden War showcased its resilience and ability to marshal international support despite internal upheaval, while Somalia's defeat marked the end of its territorial ambitions and foreshadowed the internal strife that would later consume the nation.